Tuning Jammer here, guys, and in this video I'm gonna have a short little instruction bit on how to make a pretty yummy veggie stew, which can also be taken as a vegetarian stew, but it's up to you if you want to add any ingredients later. I'll end up adding a pound of cooked turkey sausage or something similar later because my brother works at a factory job and he kind of needs the meat, but it's up to you if you add that or not, because like I said, this is basically a vegetarian stew before that. And you could also add, oh, shaky camera. And you can also add herbs and spices later on. I usually only add a bit of sea salt to mine when I'm eating it, but it's up to you. As you can see here, we have 2 containers of veggie broth, which are 32 ounces each, and I'll use both those, and a pack of baby carrots, and this is diced onion. I'd say small to medium dice. Not 100% sure which one right now, but I wouldn't worry too terribly much. Probably go with the smaller one. But you'll want around a whole onion to half an onion, depending on how sensitive your stomach is. Because I know when I have someone over who doesn't do as well with onion, I'll only use half an onion. So that way it doesn't really give them any problems. And I've got my full bag of potatoes, but I won't actually be using the full bag. I will more likely just be using half of it. But I have the whole full 5-pound bag here because I am not great at getting this stew made super early on after the grocery shopping is done, so I may have to use most of the potatoes because some of them may have come bad. And that's a thing. Now I'm going to peel them before I cut them up into small dice pieces so that I can get a better look at how they really are and if they're good or bad. And also, I know some say that when they do go bad, like some toxins or whatever will go into the peel, so I'm just going to take them off and not worry about that. I will be prepping the potatoes off camera because that would just be a bore for everyone. And I will give you a tip though, that when you are cutting these, potatoes like to brown real easy after being cut. So I'm going to use one of those containers of broth and I'm going to put it in my crock pot before I start cutting the potatoes, and then as I cut the potatoes into pieces, I'll put the pieces in the crock pot in the veggie broth to keep them good and not going brown. Okay, and I will show you the finished stew later on. And this is a relatively easy recipe, as I was saying, and it just came out of my head one day and I find it really good, so there you go. Okay, and in the picture here you can see a small bowl of the finished stew without adding any of the meat or anything to it. I have some saltine crackers with it and a bit of fine sea salt as well, because as I said earlier on, that's what I really like to season my veggie stew with personally. On the temperature setting for your crock pot, it will depend on the amount of time you have before you want the meal to be served. If you don't feel like you have enough time, I would put it on high for a while, but not too long, and like switch it to low for a bit of a rest right before it's closer to cooking time. I like to leave it on low for, I guess, maybe 6 hours. I don't actually usually count the time. I just have a very strange sleep and living schedule that I kind of don't think about it really. But I would say 6 hours on low would definitely do you good. If you have less time, I would put it on high for like maybe an hour or 2 and then make sure you definitely switch it to low later. But that will give the veggies a time to soften a bit better and be cooked more thoroughly. Alright, I believe that is all you need to know for this recipe. So I hope you have fun if you decide to make this and that you like it.